Right, going live. I guess that trip to the bathroom was a little bit longer than I thought it was. Oh shit, sure it is. Hi everybody, it's Jason here, Green Country Agri-Forestry. It's Wednesday night, 8:31. So it's time for another live stream. Hi, I hope everybody's doing okay. I've been running myself ragged this past couple of days. Just wanted to let you know, I woke up this morning very, very early, about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I like to get up early in the morning to do writing, and I've got this deadline up ahead because I said we're going to do a Halloween show with a short story that I wrote. I'm going to narrate and do the sound effects and stuff like that for it. I did it last year; it was a lot of fun. We're going to go ahead and do it again. But I've got to this week, and it wasn't quite finished yet. So I was on page. I think I'd finished page 5. I just started page 6. But yesterday morning, I got up at 2. I like to get up early, like I said, to work on writing if we've got writing to do. And so from 2 o'clock yesterday morning until now, I've been working on the story, and we've completed 8 pages. I'm on page number 9, which I think is going to be the last page of the story. So it's going to be a little bit longer than last year's, but I think it's probably one of the better stories I've written so far. The twist should be interesting. I'm trying to recover from a sinus infection, which appeared, I think, yesterday or so. Maybe no, it wasn't yesterday. It was the day before yesterday. Really, I was starting to feel kind of that crud back there behind the nose, pressure building up and stuff like that. And last year, whenever I was doing the Halloween special, when I was working on the narration for it, recording everything, I had a stopped up nose. You could probably tell if you listen to it that I had a bit of a stopped up nose through that. So hopefully I don't have the same thing all over again. Oh, hopefully. We'll see. I'm just taking my shoes and socks off. I just got done putting the ducks up. Hopefully I didn't run too far over getting my last minute chores done before time to say hello. See, John is in the house. We got Joe actually showing up at the beginning of a live show. Oh my. Vicky's here. Faith K is here. All right. And Carolyn Smith's Food Forest and Homestead is here. Hi, everybody. Hi. We're getting ready for Halloween. I've gone ahead and I've got candy. I got candy. We have some candy to give out to trick-or-treaters should they happen to show up. Hopefully the weather will be nice. We're thinking about starting up around 7 p.m. I don't know what all kinds of fun stuff we'll do. We'll probably do some like Cards Against Humanity or some other games or stuff like that for Halloween. But we're gonna have a Halloween party at the Grape Arbor this year. And if anybody happens to be listening in, you want to stop by, you're welcome to stop by. It's open to everybody. But I don't know if I'm going to be talking for a full hour tonight because I really do need to get back to sleep and wake up early again. For some reason, I have a hard time writing during the day. I got most of my work done sort of in between 2 and 6 in the morning. There's a little 4-hour period when it's really quiet out. That seems to be the best time for me to work. Joe's asking about candy corn. No, I don't have any candy corn in here. It's all okay. This is all stuff that's pre-wrapped. We get it from the ranch store. So you have like the butterscotch discs. This thing's called Bit of Honey. It's a little wrapped up chew kind of. I don't know what kind of flavors are in it. They're pretty sweet. Something called a tongue scorcher. That's a little cinnamon flavored jawbreaker. And then we have these sort of soft, chewy, fruit-flavored jelly candies. They taste kind of like a jelly. They come in different flavors. Let's see, this thing is called Coconut Long Boys. Imagine that. This is like a coconut-flavored soft chew. These are actually kind of good. A little nutty. Yeah, peppermint discs. And, of course, bubble gum. Yep, bubble gum. So we got all kinds of stuff to hand out. Although we're gonna have bratwurst or maybe hot dogs. It might just be hot dogs. Depends. Well, I'll have to look at our food budget. Also, if a lot of people show up, it might be a lot more cost effective for us to do hot dogs and buns and not bratwurst. But plan on doing some sort of sausage on the grill and s'mores and stuff like that. So anyway, Carol says haven't gotten any trick or treaters in 25 years here. It's kind of spotty here. I mean, there'll be somebody that shows up every now and then, and I just feel horrible if I don't have anything for them because this is going to be like one woman and maybe 3 or 4 kids with her. Now they're from somewhere down the road, not too far away, but this is an area that has mostly retired folks in it, and not a whole lot of young people. But they do show up every now and then, especially when people walk by and they see all the lights on that we have outside. We have lights on at night in the yard. We have a lot of decoration going on that, although it's incidentally fall and Halloween sort of decorations, it's not really intentional. But I hang my corn up. You know, I cut the stalks off and gather them together in sheaves, and those are standing around, and people can see that and go, oh, look, there's pumpkins, there's corn, there's all these things going on. They must be celebrating Halloween, so they come by and go trick or treat, and so I have to have candy ready. Truth of the matter is, I'm going to probably eat most of this myself. Yep. So we'll go from this very, very slender, boyish figure to something monstrous by springtime, thanks to all the candy and the turkey and the mashed potatoes and the dressing and the bread and everything. Especially the bread. Forget about it. Hey, there's Mary. Hi, Mary. How you doing? Oh, I am feeling a bit better. I slept most of the day yesterday. I've been taking about 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C dissolved in water with a little bit of honey and lime juice about twice, maybe 3 times a day. Yeah, I haven't had anything solid in the bathroom in a while. But hey, I think it's actually knocking the sinus infection out. So this is like maybe day 2, and I think we're almost done with it. Joe wants to know if Mary is going to help me with the candy. Not really. She doesn't really eat a lot of sweet stuff. I mean, I guess she can. I mean, but we got kids. They'll help with the candy, I'm sure. Like that one. I'll take the soft chews. Yeah, he doesn't like this one. He doesn't like the soft chews, but I can.
Smarties, Tootsie Rolls.
Smarties and Tootsie Rolls. What about the bit of honeys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll toss one of those. You just hand it to him. There you go. Hey, almost good catch. Almost good catch. So Mary said, nah, yeah, she doesn't really eat a lot of sweet stuff. Mary used to be a meathead. Very into fitness. She drives a semi truck now, so she spends most of her day sitting on her backside and doesn't get all the exercise that she used to be able to get. But Carolyn's saying get some elderberry tincture for my sinuses. I wish. I've got the elderberry plant growing right outside, but it didn't make any berries this year. It just multiplied. Got more root system established, got more branches going. It's going to turn into a little elderberry thicket. Maybe next year. This is what, year 2 for that elderberry bush. Oh, you want bubblegum? You're welcome to all of it. I don't even like it. Here, you can't even eat that stuff. There you go. Yay! Hey, Sasspress Red's in the house. Hi, the gosh. What is it? Smarties are to train you for aspirin. Oh my goodness. What was I talking about? I completely and totally forgot what I was talking about. I'm about half punchy. I've been taking Benadryl, so I don't know. It seems to have stopped this, but it's making me feel kind of loopy. So if I went up nodding off in front of you or something like that, you'll know what happened. Well, yeah, there's 2 halves. One's half loopy and the other one's half loopy. Anyway, what was I thinking? I thought I was working up to a point, and I forgot what I was going to say because somebody said something about bubblegum.
Did you tell them about the story?
What story? Oh, you mean the story that I'm writing? Yeah, you've been sitting right here. You haven't been listening.
I've been watching Once Upon a Time.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they're watching regular syndicated television stuff. I see how it is. Traitors. I'm surrounded by traitors.
I don't watch TV.
All right, Sasspress is wanting to know how everyone's harvests are going. I'll tell you what, pretty good so far this year. I'd really hoped that we get more sweet potatoes than we got. I mean, we got a decent amount. I haven't weighed them. I'm estimating 5 plants. We maybe got 20 pounds. So it's like on the average. But I'd hope we'd get more. I kind of secretly hoped that we have more at the end of this. And maybe we did. And I didn't find them all. That's always a possibility. I may have talked about my idea for a new sweet potato finding rake with you guys. I really think I need to start working on building that thing. See, my thought was, if you haven't heard the idea before, we take a regular rake head, maybe about 14, 15 inches across, and we make tines in it that are about 3 to 4 inches long, nice and rounded so they don't cut anything, just enough to go down to the ground, and about 3 to 4 inches apart. And using a rake like that, you can just drag it across the soil surface. And whenever sweet potatoes grow, the vine goes out away from wherever the plant is located centrally. And here at the central location, you can get a few tubers that'll develop there, but a lot of them will grow on those vines that are going out to the side. And so you pull the rake through the area where the vines were, and if there's a potato there underneath the surface of the soil, that should dislodge it without disrupting the entire soil surface. It's kind of the idea. We wanted to be able to find the potatoes, just not to turn the entire ground into a hamburger in the process of doing it. The rake that I've got right now, it works, but I really have to go through all of the soil surface. And that means I have to turn around and replace my ground cover with something new. So we just planted over the place where the sweet potatoes was with some more clover, but I'd rather not have to replant clover all the time. I'd like for there to be just maybe a reservoir of seeds of that nature to take over, and also to not disturb the ground that much in the first place whenever I'm growing sweet potatoes. Maybe that's a pipe dream. Maybe I can't make that happen, or maybe I can. I don't know. But the design of a rake that I'm thinking might maybe help out with that. Kimber's saying that Alex is being such a good. Oh yeah, he is. Behind the green screen, there is a small. I mean, it's fairly large, but it's small. There's a small dog kennel, and Kimber and Brendan, one of their dogs, had to be neutered, and so they've got him over here in the kennel while he's undergoing observation. They don't want him to rip his stitches or anything like that. He did it once already.
Again.
Oh, twice?
No, he ripped more than one stitch.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he's getting accustomed to having been neutered. But he's being really quiet back here behind us.
Oh,
he hasn't whimpered or whined or anything. Oh, he's asleep. Don't kick him.
Hmm?
Well, don't kick him.
No, but we are gonna
Not
pick
yet.
him up soon.
When you get done with your stream, I'm gonna take him out.
Okay.
Because he also needs
Potty
to
breaks.
antibiotic.
Yep. So sweet potatoes worked out pretty good. Corn could have been better. I've made some more discoveries about how I should be growing corn. The ducks are good, but whenever it's wet out or whenever it's raining or whenever the sprinkler is running, if we're doing overhead irrigation, the ducks like to noodle around in the mud. And in the course of noodling around in the mud, they can wind up weakening the roots of your corn plants out there. So going forward, we're going to try to do the watering, at least in the cornfield. We'll do that at night whenever the ducks are away. And hopefully it's dried out enough that they won't noodle around in the corn whenever they're released. That will hopefully prevent the corn from falling over like it did for about half of it fell over this year. We'll also try going with keeping the soil up around the base of the plants in the future. Hopefully that will provide some more stability as well. Sasspress is asking about planting mustard in with potatoes. Think about wireworm defense. I haven't, but adding brassicas is good for getting rid of some of the nematode problems out there. We're experimenting with perennial brassica, Turkish rocket. Maybe it will be something that we can work into our more or less permanent perennial garden systems. I kind of like the idea of having sort of a perennial mustard green. You can go out there, you can harvest the greens, you can let it flower, you can harvest the seeds. If the seeds are good for seasoning, then that will be great. Hello there, Hugo Homestead. There's everybody. Everybody's here. Yay. Oh, Faith was talking about brassicas. She said tender green, but not in the potato patch, but the soil there is gorgeous now and bad bug free. As Fast Brass saying that Turkish rocket went seed fast. We had a floret, and I planted these really early in the year. It was like right around the last frost. I mean, just after, really. And they shot up pretty quick and put up florets. There was like maybe 2 or 3 of them that put on florets. And I wasn't really thinking about it. I went ahead and harvested them. I'm going to go ahead and try these out, see how they're good, or see how they taste, see if they're any good. And they were. I mean, they tasted really good. Kind of like a broccoli rabe. I think the greens, the Turkish rocket greens, are going to be a pretty good substitute for having things like a mustard green. So I'm kind of happy to have it. As far as more or less perennial greens, pot herbs and stuff like that, not Turkish rocket, curly dock has been the big one for us up to this point. But having alternatives, having different stuff to try is good. Helps keep us from having what do they call that? Whenever you eat too much of the same food over and over again. You know what I'm talking about, right? Not food paralysis. What is it? There's a term for this, right?
I know you can get sick if you eat the same food over and over again.
Well, yeah, it's like food boredom. We got beans, we got rice. That's all we got, and it's like, okay, yeah, I'm not all that hungry. They had a constipation. John says they've come up with a special diet where they'll tell you, okay, you can eat all you want, but you have to eat only one thing, and it's like something. It has to be just potatoes. You can eat all you want. It's just potatoes, though. And you go like, okay, great, I can eat all I want, and then eventually the mono dies. And eventually you get to the point where like, I really don't want to eat any more potatoes. If I'm going to eat anything, it has to be a potato. Well, I don't really want to eat another potato, so I'm not going to eat anything. And so food exhaustion. That's a good term. Or that I don't know if that's the term I was thinking of, but that describes it perfectly. Yeah, food exhaustion. You just eat the same thing until you're just sick of it. I don't want another potato. Okay, so Penn Jillette described going on this diet. He used to be a really, really big guy, and I mean, he's still a really big guy, but he's big framed. But he used to be fat, and now he's just big. So he went on that diet. He said it was very, very effective. It worked for him, at least, to just have that one thing. It's like, okay, I can eat potatoes. And then once he'd gotten to the point where he could not stand eating another potato unless he was just that hungry, that's when it began working, because then he would only eat when he was really, really hungry. And that changed his entire habit. So he was not eating because he was bored, or eating because he was tired, or eating because he was frustrated. He would only be eating because he was hungry, and he would really only eat because he was hungry. And it works. But if you're not trying to lose weight, going into food exhaustion, probably not the best idea ever, right? So having different things, lots of variety seems to help. Let me see. Joe's saying the leaves behind me. Those are that's a Canna indica purpurea. That little canna like behind me there. Very, very high calorie, starchy roots. Starchy roots. I can't talk. It's raining outside right now. I know you probably can't hear it, but it's pounding against the windows, and I can hear it fairly well back over there. Hopefully it'll knock off here in a day or two. I still haven't finished curing those sweet potatoes. I've got them up and they're off the ground, so they're getting washed. I didn't really want to wash them. I'd rather they dry and toughen up. Let's see what else is going on as far as harvesting goes. I've pulled some of the squash. They're not quite all done yet. I actually have some fresh new ones just coming on right now. But I pulled quite a few of those. Probably maybe 2 more weeks. I don't know. Maybe 2 more weeks before we can pull in the rest of them and start cleaning up the vines. And then, food fatigue maybe. Food exhaustion or food fatigue. Anyway, after we have the vines moved out of the way, I'll be able to go out to the mulch site. We'll be able to get lots of wood chips, and I'll start sifting through those. We'll have the coarse stuff going into the walkways, the fine stuff going on top of the beds. Lots of stuff to get taken care of during this winter period. I was just thinking about the dry seasons. We have a little bit of a dry season towards the end of summer, and we have a dry season in the middle of winter, but I don't know exactly when the dry season in the middle of winter is supposed to be. I should have been paying more attention, right? And the reason is because I've got some excavation projects that I want to get started. I don't know if I'm going to do them this year or not. Giving the ducks a fairly large pond where they can all be in the water at the same time and not have to be territorial and fight over the water, which is what they do now. They boss each other around. One of them comes out being, the boss, controlling who gets to use the water and when. If we have a pond that's large enough to accommodate all of them, we wouldn't have this problem anymore. I think it would be nicer for the ducks. Oh, but digging that pond out, that's going to take a little bit of work on my part. And I don't want to do it. I need to put these candies up here. And I don't want to do it. Whenever it's during the rainy part of the year. So I couldn't do it in the spring, obviously. I don't want to do it in the middle of the summer because it's too hot. But in the middle of winter, when we have another bit of a drought coming through and it's cold enough outside that as long as the ground's not frozen solid, I might be able to do some work outside. I think that's when we're going to be able to pull it off. Unless, of course, I just get overwhelmed with other stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Kimber has been doing research. She says there's no medical term for eating the exact food every day. Yeah, I know there's no medical term for it.
A symptom of OCD, though.
There's no medical term for it, but I know people that do prepping on a regular basis have noticed that it is a real thing. That you can get to that situation where you have all the food that you could possibly need to eat, but you don't really want to eat anything because it's all just blah. I'm being tempted by sugar.
It's a mini cinnamon roll.
Okay. Ooh, it's warm too. They ordered pizza and it came with cinnamon rolls. Pardon me. Oh, no. Yeah, that's like an extra 5 pounds right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But are you eating the same food?
I'm going to hate myself tomorrow.
If you're unable to not eat the same food over and over again, it's a symptom of OCD. Because that food becomes a part of your routine.
All right. There you go.
You can have a lot of variety and still put it all on a taco.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. You can have a lot of variety on a taco. Case in point, we eat a lot of tacos around here. We eat tacos with everything. Carol's asking if they're my children. No, not exactly. Let's see. Kimber is one of my daughter's school friends from time that they were little.
2014.
2014. Okay, yeah, not too long ago. Just a couple years back. Just a couple years back. She's one of my daughter's school friends, and her and her husband needed a place to stay to get restarted, and we happen to have a spare bedroom because my daughter's off in Pennsylvania taking care of her granddad, and her bedroom's not being used for anything right now. So they're occupying the spare bedroom.
To be fair, you claimed me as your daughter before I claimed you as a dad.
Okay, yeah.
And I quote, which one of my daughters, there was only 2 girls in the house, is going to do dishes for everybody to have breakfast
Mary
after a
walked
night
in and
of
said,
D&D.
Mary walked in to the house and said, "Now, which one of my kids wants breakfast?" to me and Kimber.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
And then she proceeded to say, "Yeah." And then Mary looked at me and said, "Well, go make breakfast." So
I'm the favorite.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I adopt people. I have a couple extra moms and a couple extra brothers, and you know how it goes. We kind of choose our family once we become adults, and you know, there's a few of you guys out there that are in that category as well, or at least on their way to being fairly close. I don't know if I'd let you borrow my shovel though. like borrow it without exact permission. I don't know. Yeah, but it's true, John. Yeah, John's right there. Nobody's going to steal a shovel. It involves actual work. Well, it depends. Okay. If you've got power tools in the back of your truck and you're driving through town, somebody might think about hopping out and grabbing something like okay, I saw this happen once. There were some guys that had contractors, obviously, but they had a huge concrete saw, rock saw, in the back of their truck. Oh my goodness, that was a bug. You wouldn't believe it. It was like the size of a pinhead. It looked huge crawling across the camera lens. Okay, so there's a rock saw in the back of this truck, and I was driving. The truck was here, so let me turn this way so you can. We're here. I'm driving along, and the truck's over here on my right hand side. Right, it's ahead of us just a little bit, and I can see this car kind of lagging behind us. Also this lane to my right, and I see this car, and I just sort of got this feeling like, yeah, something doesn't seem right about the way they're driving. Something seems odd. I think something's up, and so I turned and I looked at Ginger. That's my daughter's mother. Said, hey, go ahead and lock up the doors. Make sure they're locked. And she said, oh, you're just so paranoid. This isn't that bad of a neighborhood, right? My spider senses are going off. There's something's wrong, right? And sure enough, we come to a stop at this next intersection, the next stoplight. We come to a stop, and that car doesn't pull forward because there's a side road off over here on the right hand side. So they stop just before that turnoff. And one of the guys hops out, runs up, grabs that rock out of the back of the pickup truck, runs back to their car, hops in, and they turn off down that side road and take off. Well, of course, the guys in the contractors in that pickup truck, they back up and take off after them. I have no idea whether they were able to catch them or not. But the point being is, that rock saw is something that maybe you could take into a pawn shop and sell for a fairly decent amount of money. Some of those power tools are fairly pricey. But if it had been something like a pickaxe and a sledgehammer and maybe a couple of solid wedges or spikes that you have to hand drive in order to get them started, maybe a manual star drill, they probably would have left it alone. Anything that involves real hard physical labor, they're probably not going to steal. But you never know. Hugo is saying bad things happening in Maine tonight. Uh-oh. What is going on in Maine? Or is it something that you can even say on this platform? Sometimes they don't like us saying things or talking about certain topics. But usually you can get away with it in chat, right? Okay, so this was Lewiston. Oh my. 10 dead. There's been a shooting. All right. Yikes. Let's see. All right. So here's the headline. At least 16 people dead and suspect at large after shooting in areas of Lewiston, Maine, authorities say. Why do they always have to end with authorities say? I mean, can they like not specify who the so-called authorities are? Maybe we should like do some investigation of our own and find out if they are in fact authorities. Anyway, okay, here's the story. At least 16 people are dead in multiple shootings in Lewiston, Maine, Wednesday night, according to multiple law enforcement sources. I guess that's who the authorities are. 50 to 60 people. Oh, wow. Lots of injuries are injured in the incidents plural. So there's more than one. Although it's unclear how many are injured due to gunfire. Okay. That's I mean, it looks like there's just one person, but they're saying multiple incidents. So I don't know. I guess today, if you're somewhere in the vicinity of Lewiston, Maine, keep your head down. Because apparently whoever was doing the shooting is still out there and may not be done. Well, shoot. News. Had to be some news, huh? I usually try to avoid this stuff. I mean, most of it, I mean, let's face it. Is it something I can do anything about it? No, not really. Is knowing this going to improve my life any? No. Is it going to make me do anything different? Yeah, really, no. Not really. Yeah, if things don't seem right, leave. If your spider sense is tingling, is trying to tell you something, listen to your gut. And yeah, big cities. It may be Maine, but I mean it's in a city. Oh, Sas Preston, he had an AR platform. Everybody likes the ARs. I don't really like ARs. I always had problems from the very beginning. Yeah, they've done modifications to it to make some improvements over the years, but I think basically the AR's problem from the very beginning was they're trying to do too much, too many points of failure. It's too complicated. The main complaint that they had whenever the United States Army adopted the AR was that soldiers were firing too much ammunition. They're going through ammo too quickly. And the M14s that everybody was equipped with at the time had fully automatic capability. So soldiers were getting into firefights with what was essentially an automatic rifle. It's not a missile weapon. It's an automatic rifle, full size rifle cartridge. Firing at an automatic rate, they go all the way through the magazine, grab a new magazine, feed it in, and they're going through all the way through another magazine again. So people aren't just firing a shot; they're emptying entire magazines at every single point whenever they're squeezing the trigger. Most of these rounds don't hit anything. So the solution that they came up with, which is just silly, he was like, well, let's get a gun that has lighter ammunition so they can carry more ammo. Of course, remember what I said, most of the rounds didn't hit target in the first place whenever they're just squeezing the trigger down and unloading entire magazines into the jungle. So the real solution, which they actually finally did, was to come up with a semi-automatic M14. They have that now. It's called an M1A. Beautiful rifles. No need at all to have an AR, but people still buy them because the U.S. Army uses them, and you got to use the gun that the Army uses because that's the best one, right? No, it's not. It's they're obliged to use it. They're kind of forced to because they can't choose their own weapons whenever they go to war. Unlike civilians, we have the option of going, hey, you know what? I think I prefer something that's a bit more reliable. One that shoots farther, flatter, hits with a bit more power. I think I'll choose that. Let the kids use the black rifles. I'm going to hit what I'm aiming at. That's just me. Oh, John's saying the bolt action won't go away. Oh no, yeah, bolt action rifles never going away. If you're stickler for accuracy, of course, bolt guns are a lot more reliable than semi-autos. Although, for the average shooter, I don't think you're going to find a whole lot of difference between the accuracy of a good quality semi-automatic rifle and a bolt action rifle. You probably won't notice. But for the people that are like high-end marksmen, you may notice a difference. Stabbing McStab says, I don't know, I have a stack of ARs and no complaints. A stack. The ammunition is a lot cheaper. I like 308 personally for a hunting round. I don't shoot a lot of hogs. I'm not doing a lot of hog hunting. If I was doing a lot of hog hunting, then yeah, I think I probably would go with a 223. Simply because you get a lot more magazine capacity without a lot more weight, and hogs have a tendency to travel in large groups. And sometimes they can get the idea that you're on the menu, and the fact that you're armed is not a great concern to them. You also need to be able to climb trees quickly. So he's saying, go and hunt for animals and grab my 300 blackout. Yeah. Yikes, 300 Win Mag. Make your shoulder hurt, I'll tell you what. Yeah, wild boars are meanies. I mean, they're nothing to laugh at. We don't have any around here, actually. I mean, I'm kind of fortunate. We have a few deer, a couple of coyotes here and there. There's mountain lions, but we never see them. But no wild boar, thank goodness. John's asking, when did this become a gun channel? I don't know. Let me see. Oh, since somebody mentioned what was going on up in Maine, that's when it became a gun channel. Like I said, Charles say you don't miss, so you don't end up sore. Well, yeah, if you start firing something that has that much recoil, you don't want to miss too many times, or you'll hate yourself. Anyway, no, I don't try to watch news very often because, as I said, there's usually nothing I can do about it, and it won't help my situation anyway, and it's not going to make me do anything any different. I'm still gonna get up in the morning and take care of the animals and grow a garden and probably shoot some video and maybe even edit it in time that people will get to watch it. Sorry about that for last week. I just let it get away from me. I shot everything. It's just did not have any spare time set aside for the editing. I hate editing. I really do. I'll take the normal precautions that I ordinarily take. I won't take the same route to anywhere that I took the last time, in all likelihood. And if I do, it'll be a fluke, and you wouldn't have been able to anticipate it. I will go wherever I go armed. I will make sure that if I am not personally armed at any and all times, there will be somebody nearby me who is. And I do that all the time, and I'm not going to change any of that. I'm going to avoid places where there are large crowds, especially where there are large crowds of people that are in emotionally charged states. That's part of my everyday ordinary security too. I don't go to big events where there's lots of people that are going to be agitated or worked up about something. Occasionally, maybe like a homesteaders conference or something where it's not going to be a politically charged atmosphere. It's not going to be a heavily emotional place. other than people will be, happy and excited to meet people that they've only known from watching them on YouTube, or that they haven't seen since the last get together or anything like that. I mean, that's different. It's different. Nobody's getting confrontational with these sort of things. But whenever there's those situations where people get, emotionally charged and confrontational, I don't want to be there, because even if you're not involved in whatever altercation goes down, you can wind up being affected as a bystander. You can be part of the collateral. You could be one of those people that's there in that high target environment whenever somebody else comes from the outside that wants to start trouble. The easiest way to not be in that situation is to not put yourself there in the first place. Yeah. Let's see. Hogs. I've heard that if you can get them whenever they're younger, it's better, and that the older hogs are just not that great. But I don't know. I haven't eaten wild boar, so. Stabby sings, what's your go-to for stuff hitting the fan? Now I'm presuming like go-to, what's the tool that I'm going to reach for whenever things go sideways? Shoot, I don't know. I really don't know. I have a variety of tools, and I suppose it really depends upon what the circumstance seems to call for. I don't know if we're talking about firearms. It'd be easy to say the Mossberg 500, right? I mean, it's a shotgun, 12 gauge. You get loaded up with slugs. You can load it up with double-aught buckshot for the bipedal problems, and you can load it up with number 4 if you need to shoot some geese or turkeys or something like that. It's generally a nice tool, but you have limited range. And really limited accuracy. I mean, it's not a precision tool by any means. You're not taking small game with that thing. I mean, I imagine a 12 gauge versus a squirrel or a rabbit. Not going to happen. Really, if I could only grab one thing and one thing only, I've got a Ruger 1022 compact that I outfitted with a folding stock. And it's got a 50. Well, actually, I have multiple 50-round magazines, the little banana magazines that will go with that. So that gives me lots and lots of firepower. Is reliably accurate to the point where if I needed to hunt small game with it, like squirrel, I am fairly confident that I can take a squirrel with it and have meat on the table with 1 or 2 shots, 1 or 2, maybe 2, if it's a little bit far and I don't have a really good shot, and I might possibly not get them. 2 shots, and I still got 50 more. Well, 48 more in that magazine. No, those aren't 50. Those are 25. I'm sorry, I'm a liar. Forget everything I said. The magazines I have are those 25 round, not 50. But 25 is a lot of rounds of ammunition to be shooting squirrels with. You can shoot other things other than squirrels with the 22. Shot placement is all important. It's not a very powerful round, but you hit the right places, it does the trick. It's not legal to hunt deer with a 22. You could if you had to, but once again, shot placement would be very, very important. But yeah, I think if that was if I had to jump out the door and run away with just one thing, just one, and not know how long I was going to be on the road or wherever I was at with that rifle, yeah, I think I'd go ahead and grab the little compact 22. Yep. Now, if I knew that I was going to be involved with a shootout with some Los Zetas gangsters who are armed with ARs, and they were going to be coming down the street or something, I have something different for that. But general survival, I'm going to drop everything, grab one tool, and run. Yeah, probably the 22. It's the best all around useful. You can use it for defense. You can use it for game. You can take small game with it without damaging the meat or the hides. If you need to, you can take larger game. You just have to be more careful where you're placing your shots. So, Yeah, Savvy's saying, yeah, 22, second choice because of the capacity. I mean, really, that's where it comes down to is the capacity. Once again, if you didn't know when you were going to get back to your home base of operations, wherever your other tools are stored, right? If you don't know, go with something that's going to allow you to have a little bit more go, a little bit more options, a little bit more firepower. Oy. But now I guess we're gonna have to find out what went down in Maine and why and all that good stuff, aren't we? Shoot. Hey, we got some other people showing up. We got Horse Around Farm saying hey to Mary. I see a horse. Let's see. Sow in the city. Or is it sow in the city or sow in the city? Oh, I thought it was so in the city. I was like, no, wait a minute. That doesn't sound right. It's so in the city. Sass, I like a good hoe. I'm tired, you guys. Leave me alone. I'm tired. But I should have this sinus infection completely cleared up in time to as soon as I said that, I was like, no, that can't be what it is. It's got to be so like, okay, all right. Youngest daughter in the pick, that's a Tasha Lynn. I haven't been around horses since I was about 6 or 7 years old. We used to have a couple. We had an old gelding named Skeeter. He liked to stop, drop, and roll in every mud puddle that he ever found. And then we had a little pony named Coco, who was kind of like mixed brown and white, like I guess hot cocoa with marshmallows. I didn't name him, but we only had them for a couple of years, and then we had to let them go because feeding and keeping horses is expensive. Oh, I'm almost out of coffee here. Face is saying, "Go to bed, gooberhead." Oh my goodness! I will soon enough. I'll probably have to take another Benadryl here in a minute. Boy, Illinois. Illinois is a great state, spoiled by Chicago. Really. Spoiled by Chicago. I've got another story in the works somewhere. Hang on a second. I just read that. You can tickle roots and the pant will jump.
Plant.
You wrote pant.
I meant plant.
You can tickle roots and the pant will jump.
No. Plant.
Plant. What the heck? She's showing me this thing. What the? What plant is this? This ginseng? What the heck? No. Nonsense. Here, take this thing. Take this. This is.
I couldn't save it and
no.
send it to
No.
you.
No. I don't believe it.
It is ginseng.
Yeah.
Oh, ginseng is proof that its energetic qualities can give you a boost.
The root jumps. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people in the comments of the video have confirmed it is ginseng.
Right. Just. Well, sometimes they'll be sitting there and they're scrolling on TikTok, right? And you know how people do this. Hours and hours and hours facing the phone. Oh, look at this. Yeah. Okay, so for like the 1 or 2 minutes they go, oh, look at this. There's like hours of this. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. That stuff will rot your brains. I'll tell you what. Um, oh my gosh. I don't know. So anyway, where are we at? Halloween, October 31st. Be here or not. I mean,
Be here or be square.
you don't have to show up. Have to. It's just like hot dogs and marshmallow s'mores and stuff like that around the fire pit in the grape arbor, unless it's raining, in which case we'll hide out in the woodshedding or something, I guess. We'll tell some scary stories. We'll have some cider, probably. I don't know. Cider? We need to put together the rest of the menu. Kimber,
Apple cider sounds good.
you need to get a pencil and a paper and start writing some stuff down so we can get the rest of the supplies together and have it ready to go by the 31st. Where are we on finding a cauldron?
I said we should get your Dutch oven cleaned up. That would be the safest.
I mean, it looks like a cauldron, but it's only like that big.
Yeah.
How much punch can we fit in a cast iron bowl this big?
The only other option is a plastic cauldron.
Okay.
That would probably freeze.
Well, I mean, it just needs to be a punch bowl that looks like a cauldron, really. Because that's what it is. It's gonna be a punch bowl.
If we're serving drinks, so we can get one. Best place to look would be the one place you don't want to shop.
I think I know where to go.
Or Amazon.
Nope. Top Hat.
Never been.
Top Hat. It's a magic store, like for prestidigitation magic.
Because the only other thing I can think of is
they have costumes and props and other things. They might have a cauldron there. I'll have to go check it out.
Because the only other option would be to try to find a spirit Halloween nearby.
Yes, it is a party at our house on October 31st, starting at 7 p.m. Be here or be square. We're gonna have hot dogs or bratwurst, depending upon the budget, and s'mores, of course, and lots of candy and fun and probably not bobbing for apples, but that's just. I mean, come on, like you had people with like noses in their hair and face and everything in there with the apple. Yeah, I mean, there are some traditions we're just not gonna do. Okay, we're just not gonna do that one. That was gross. I don't know if I can find my robes. I might go do the wizard thing. I mean, I've got the hat, or I could always dress up like a serial killer. We look like everybody else. Living in the only state where the politicians are more corrupt than the ones I grew up with in the Lewiston. Where is that? Wait, where are they more corrupt? Missouri, you think?
They let a offender get away with what he did because he was a rat for the police department.
Well, did he get away or did he just get away?
They refused to charge him.
But did he get away?
It's not on his record. He did not have to register. Nothing.
But did he get away?
Yeah, he's still alive.
For now. What part of Missouri was this?
Newton County.
Okay. We'll have to look
the city was Neosho.
Really? In the Osho?
My brother.
And nobody's taking them out to the woodshed yet?
My dad told the sheriff's department that they'd better be there before he was. Otherwise, they would be burying one person and throwing the other behind bars.
Yeah, well,
they beat my dad to the house.
That's Missouri Hill Country for you.
And he was closer to the house
than the sheriff. Just because you get away with it doesn't mean you're going to get away with it.
Last I knew, he was in Joplin.
Just because you get away with it doesn't mean you're going to get away with it. Oh, yeah, he'd better stick to the cities. You stick to the cities, they've got people to protect the criminals there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I said, so far he's gotten away with it, and he's hit it.
Yeah.
His new girlfriend doesn't even know.
Oh, Illinois. Faith is in Illinois. Yeah.
Because the only other place I could think of was Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, Chicago's. Yeah, I've lived there. It was not great. I mean, it's a cool town. The people are awesome. The town stinks. It's just I get it's got things that aren't great about it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Neosho's great too, but don't trust the
Judicial system.
yeah.
Yep. Sasspress says, shoot, it's late. I'll see you next week. Next week. Get this crops in before the freeze. Yeah, we're gonna have one before too awful long. What all do I have left to do? Let's see. I got wheat planted. I got corn harvested. Got the sweet potatoes harvested. Pumpkins are still up and coming. Garlic's in. What? What are you giggling about?
Pumpkins don't look like pumpkins.
I know, right? Well, I mean, they're technically pumpkins. They're technical pumpkins, but it's Cucurbita machata. It's the same genus and species as butternut squash.
See, when you said pumpkins,
You were thinking like big round pumpkins, right?
The ones you carve,
right,
and stick candles in.
No,
but the ones you've been picking, I'm just thinking, are they done growing?
Some of them, yes.
Or did you pluck them early?
Some of them, yes.
Because they're not the pumpkins I was thinking of.
Well, some of the pumpkins do look different.
Yeah. I didn't know about some of the pumpkins. I know some pumpkins that are the carving ones accidentally get bred with the squash pumpkins and come out looking different.
Yeah, Mary is saying canna lily tubers. That's coming up before too awful long. Yeah, that's the other big thing that we're going to have to do. But I mean, we still have flowers on. They're not ready to give up yet.
You've been complaining about the fact that your flowers are still nice and bloom.
I was walking around earlier today having to look at things during one of the brief moments when it wasn't raining, and alongside the driveway we have an area where there's the peanuts that are planted there. We have the pink soba buckwheat. There's some Asiatic dayflower. Well, I mean, there's daylilies, but they're not blooming right now, and a little bit of basil. And the basil finally this week is starting to bloom. And I had hoped to have the white blooms of the basil along with the blue blooms from the dayflower and the pink blooms from the buckwheat and the yellow blooms from the peanuts all like in the same spot. So I could point the camera at them and you could have like 4 different colors of flowers all blooming together. But it didn't work out that way. The peanuts are done blooming. So no little yellow blooms from the peanuts. But I mean, we're getting the others. So I guess it's okay. And they're all different kinds of flowers that are flowering right now. It may be the end of the year, or at least the growing season, but it's not over, I guess you could say.
You've watered your plants enough that the flowers are staying bloomed
Yep.
longer than you expected.
Yeah,
Which I told you would happen.
Flowers are going a little bit longer anyway. So yeah, we're maybe about a month away from cutting the cannas. I mean, until it actually freezes out there, we're going to let them keep growing, and then we'll cut them back, compost the tops, dig up the roots, put those in peat moss, and about that time, we're going to start selling cannas, and that's going to be exciting. I think they were going for around 2 for $15 from some other places. I think you can get a better price for you than that. But anywho, we're coming up on 1 hour, and I am surprised I'm still awake. I'm going to call it a night, guys, and head off to bed because if I don't, then I won't wake up early. And if I don't wake up early, then I won't get into that quiet place. And if I'm not in the quiet place, I won't be able to finish the story. And if I can't finish the story, then I won't have it ready for you by the 31st, which is kind of when I want to have this thing done. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a night and go to bed and get my beauty sleep because Lord knows I need it. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me tonight, and hopefully we'll see you the next time. Until then, get out there and get growing. Good night, everybody.